Everybody, Andy here again, down on the beach once again. Lovely sunny Saturday afternoon. Tide's going out, but the sun's in there. You must see the sun's in my eyes a bit. Anyway, cut to the chase, as they say. Purpose of this video, well, I was reading the newspaper this morning and caught the obituaries in the paper. And Dewey Martin, I think his name is, who was the drummer, I believe, with Buffalo Springfield, has recently died. Nothing amazing about that, I suppose. Buffalo Springfield, although I know the band obviously through some of their songs, the Stephen Stills, Neil Young, so probably the more famous members of the band, but the fact that it sort of got me to thinking once again about so many of these people now who are dying, people that I remember listening to when I was younger. Billy Powell, the keyboard player with Leonard Skinner, died recently. Other people from what I would class as my childhood, from my youth, etc., my sort of adolescent years or whatever, are dying out, and it starts to make you think about these things. Because I did the video series recently about the sort of vinyl junkie series, and that's got me sort of reflecting back on all of those sort of great times that I had. The music, it holds memories for people, certain pieces of music especially, but when you look back through a collection like that, and I know other people said it took them back as well, it makes you think. But having all these people sort of suddenly start dying, yes, we know that years ago all these sort of people were living fast, die young, especially rock and roll stars and all that type of thing. But the people who are dying now are dying basically from natural causes, or they're not self-inflicted causes, let's put it that way. And the ages of those people is getting nearer and nearer to my age, and I think that's the problem with this. And it started to make me think, yeah, here we go, maybe I'm a bit older than what I think I am. Because at work we've had a couple of those things recently. I had a work colleague die who was older than me, admittedly, but we had a guy at work who was in his mid-30s who had a heart attack. Thankfully quite a minor heart attack, but it's one of those things that makes people think. Everyone sort of sat up and sort of listened for you know, the younger age group and the older age group, for both of those people. And I'm finding myself now going to more funerals. People that I know, people that I went to school with, people that I've worked with, etc., are starting to die, you know. And it's a morbid subject, I know, but it does make you think about these things. And one of the aspects that I did think of, apart from sort of evaluate, you know, it makes you look back at, say, the Vinyl Junkie series and all that, and all these sort of contemporaries, the people, as I said, the rock and roll people especially, but it's across all forms, you know, all those sort of famous people that you grew up with, whether that be, there's people on the TV that I sort of grew up with when I was younger, people like Tony Hart, who you might have heard of as an artist, Oliver Postgate was another one, older people, yes, but people that I remember, and it sort of brings it home to you. And the point about the sort of the rock and roll casualties, shall we say, their age that they're dying at is getting closer and closer to where I am now. And I'm beginning to wonder whether the internet has made me think that I'm younger than what I am, if that makes any sense at all. I've always had a fairly sort of young outlook on life, I must admit. I've always sort of tried to keep up with things, which is probably why I'm doing this now. And a lot of the people that I mix with online tend to be considerably younger than what I am, and I can't remember if I've mentioned this before. But you know, you start to think about this. Sometimes it doesn't really register, and then when these other things come into play, you suddenly start to think, yes, so you start to evaluate it, you start to take stock. And I wonder whether, say, the internet, I tend to think young, I tend to act younger, and because if you mix with younger people, whether it be in day-to-day life, whether it be at work, whatever, you know, does that keep you young? Does it make you think young? And then when something like this comes along and you start to think, you suddenly start to realise how old you actually are. I'm in pretty good health, you know, I do the running and all that sort of stuff, as you know, but there are times when the age starts to creep up on you and you suddenly think, hang on a minute, Andy, you're getting close to 51, you're getting older, these other people sort of passing away makes you think that as well. But then it sort of comes home when you get up in the morning and the legs don't work quite as well as what they used to do, or the back starts aching a little bit. So maybe this is a topic for another video, but does the internet keep you young? Because we're mixing with generally younger people, is it keeping me young? I like to think it is, because it's opening me. I've always been sort of open to different ideas and things like that, and thoughts, etc. So as I said before, try to keep up with the technology and all that sort of type of thing as well. So maybe that's kept me young at heart and young in mind, I don't know. But I think the internet, because we're embracing it, or I'm certainly embracing it, and it's generally a younger generation thing. I know us oldies are gradually creeping up on that. But there, a thought for you. Does the internet keep you young? And have you thought about your own mortality recently? Because I know I have. I feel great about it. I don't have any worries, but you never know what's around the corner, do you? It does get sort of, not worrying, but it does make you think a little bit when you see all these obituaries in the newspapers, etc., of people that you remember listening to years ago, that you grew up with listening to, and who aren't too far removed from your age as well. And as I said, that starts to bring it home. And I'm sure there's a few other people out there who are my sort of age group who are sort of probably nodding along. So there you go. Anyway, a thought for the day. Does the internet keep you or make you feel younger? Even look younger? I don't know. I doubt it. No makeup today. Anyway, thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.